Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order for January 26th of the Conservation Commission. At this meeting, the commission will hold public hearings on notice of intent, requests for determinations. The commission will also be voting on decisions taking up other business. No hearing times have been, well, actually, they have been. Hearing times, specific agenda items, the commission will take them up in the order they are listed. Discussion and action items may be taken up at any time. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Orders, suspending provisions of the open meeting law, we are conducting this meeting online. The commission welcomes participation in the meeting by the applicants and general public. Attending the meeting tonight are the 7 Conservation Commission members: Eric Foley, Margaret Reela, Jim Gazzo, Ann Jeffries, Marilyn Frank, Noel Donovan, and Peter Mahler, and the Conservation Resource Planner, Matt Salem. This meeting is being recorded by Westford Cable Access TV. We respectfully ask that everyone mute their computer microphones and phones when they are not in use to avoid unnecessary noise during the meeting. This is an open meeting, so all panelists who have access to the chat panel, please only use chat for technical issues related to the video conferencing. The commission will proceed by opening the agenda items, having the applicant or the representative present the project, or if previously opened in a public meeting, they will provide a brief summary of the project. The commission and staff will follow with questions, and then we'll open up to public for questions and comments. At this point, if you wish to participate, please raise your hand. Matt will see you on the video, and he will unmute you. I will take a roll call vote. Eric?
Here.
Noel?
Here.
Jim?
Here.
Margaret?
Here.
Marilyn?
Here.
What am I missing?
Here.
Ann? Ann?
Here.
Okay, and Peter. Okay, our first agenda item is open forum. Does anybody from the commission have anything for open forum? Nobody?
No, well.
Matt, do you have anything for open forum?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as a point of, for the next meeting will also be held virtually. If the commission wants to discuss later on during the discussion, if the commission would like to go back to in-person meetings at the end of February. Again, it was the chair and I made the decision, the public hearing, the legal notices needed to be submitted last Thursday for the next meeting. So it was just a decision had to get made. And but if the commission pleases, we can certainly go back for the 2nd February meeting to being in person back at Town Hall. And the select board at last night's meeting voted to accept the gift funds from Eagle Scout candidate Anoop. So that will be added to the Scout project fund that is in the commission's budget. And I think we'll have about $1,600, and the commission's practices have typically been not to award more than $200 at any one time. So I think that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there anything for open forum from the public audience?
Peter, Marilyn had her hand raised.
You know, I just want to ask Matt one thing. Matt, I realize I'm not at work tomorrow, and I'm taking Bob to for an appointment. Can that hold till Friday morning when I am at work, or do you need it for tomorrow? The signature. If you do, I'll come in at 11. I just want to know what.
I mean, we need 4 to sign, and I think we have plenty have said that they can come up. So I don't think your signature.
Okay, fine,
I mean,
fine. Okay, then I'm not going to try to do it. Okay, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll move on to our first agenda item, which is the continuation of a public hearing for Bloom Energy, 1 Robbins Road. It's an RDA. The applicant has requested a continuance without discussion to the February 9th meeting of 2022. I have a motion to continue this?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Marilyn?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
and Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Our second agenda item is the continuation of a public hearing for Greystone Pond. They have also requested a continuance to what date, Matt?
It is March 23rd, 2020.
So can I have a motion to that effect?
2020 or 2022?
2022. Let's try. My DeLorean's not working these
There
days.
you go.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
and Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, we'll move on to our next item, which is issue an enforcement order for Tandis at 87 Graniteville Road. I don't think there's been any changes made to this since your previous meeting. Matt, have you been able to talk to the?
I did. Thank you. And actually, there were a couple inclusions in the draft enforcement order. I think number 5, removing the plastic pipes at the easterly, or I guess at the westerly edge of the wetlands. That was included per the commission's discussion at their meeting last week.
Right.
I was able to speak with the property owner's son-in-law, and there were no concerns, questions. They had read and reviewed it.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission on this? Jim? Jim?
Yes. Conditions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have specific dates for items to be accomplished. And I think we ought to put those, I don't know if you have agendas for the next year laid out, Matt, on your computer, or if you just have a tickler file or what, but I think we should set up specific agenda items for each of those on those dates so we can get a report back on whether they were accomplished or not.
Good idea.
I usually create agendas about a month in advance, but I can certainly set up the meeting packet folders and set reminders in there to make sure that to go out and inspect to confirm that they have been done by the dates listed. That's a great,
That's a good idea.
appreciate the thought, Jim.
Any other comments from the commission? Any comments from the audience?
I don't see any, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve this enforcement order?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, great. Okay, we're moving on to our next agenda item, which is the appointment with the Agricultural Commission. Request to clear poison ivy at the Dayfield. And who is here from the Ag Commission?
As their liaison, I'm here in the meeting packet. There's an email that I sent to Matt, which has basically the project proposal that the Agricultural Commission had come up with. They have a problem with invasive plants kind of moving in from the woods. And Marco Lalor had talked to John Rivas of the Park and Recreation Department. And what they're thinking about doing is bringing in a piece of heavy equipment like a front end loader and just using the bucket to scrape up 6 or more inches of soil to get out the soil, to get out the root masses, and then putting bark mulch down. You know, they're asking at this point if that's something that the commission would allow on conservation land. My concern is that there's no plan for what they're going to do with the soil that they take up. It's going to have a heavy load of poison ivy, bittersweet, garlic mustard seed in it. Also, I didn't know if the commission would have a concern with the amount of trees that would have to be taken out along where the pathway goes.
We have to,
Noel?
Well,
Have they considered getting, renting some goats to get in there to eat all of
There you
that
go.
stuff naturally? Yeah, you don't really need that many goats, and then, they'll fertilize the yard and
you can
they'll
rent,
take care of it naturally for you.
it's a great idea. You can rent them.
I will take that suggestion back to them. Would the goats also eat the garlic mustard?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I think that's a great idea, Noel. I really like
Yeah.
that.
Do, I like
don't
it.
like the idea
Yeah.
of using a backhoe to scrape up the soil. That just kills everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
but
Jim.
And to
then you
take
got a
down
problem.
trees to do it.
What are you gonna do with it?
yeah,
Right.
oh,
And you can't
Yeah.
burn it.
This is about as best recycling you could possibly do.
okay.
Yeah.
And I will be glad to take their brilliant suggestion back. One of the things that I will take back is when I went out to take the pictures, as I told Matt, I was really surprised to see the amount of wire fencing that had been kind of discarded in that area. And I will take back that we also want that removed, and we don't want that kind of dumping, because in some of these pictures where you wonder why I took a picture of a bunch of vines or stuff like that, it's because it's growing on top of a roll of wire.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah, we just can't see it right there.
Yeah, it really doesn't come through, but it was, I was really surprised how much there was. And so that's one of the things I take back, but I will also take back the suggestion to look at having them bring in goats for, a week or two, whatever it takes.
Yeah, they rent it from the farmer and then the farmer comes takes them away.
Jim?
One place you might want to check is up at Gould Farm. They have goats in there, and I know I went on a couple of nature hikes with the goats, and they'll eat anything on the way. So they might
Okay.
be interested in a small donation for their goats to take part in the agricultural work.
Okay, that's a great suggestion too, because I know that members of the Agricultural Commission were looking to reach out to people at the Good Picking Farm to kind of, look if they could partner with them to kind of promote agriculture in the town. So
That'd
yeah,
be great, local goats.
yes,
Okay, great.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Yeah. Let's see, well, let's go down to discussion items before we do our 750. Tree removal and replacement, Sycamore and Cypress Road. Any update on that, Matt?
No, I have not followed up with Highway
Yeah.
since last time.
Jim?
How about we set up a schedule?
Yep,
Like
I'll,
9 months.
I agree. I'll get something prepared for the next meeting so that this item actually
We could
has.
do it now. We could do it right now. We got a real short agenda.
Okay.
So the rock should be in about a week.
Okay.
Plants not until like middle of May, say.
Okay.
And then sometime before the middle of May, we have to figure out how we're going to buy the plants, or who's going to buy the plants. If it's going to come from the Public Works Department, who are the ones that were involved with cutting the trees down or whatever. How about maybe mid-April, figure out how it's going to get paid for?
Yep.
That it?
Anything else?
Sounds good.
I think I can work with
Okay.
that.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, we're moving on to our next discussion item, 103 Lowell Road, request to work between December 1st and April 1st.
I think Jeff is in attendance. I thought I saw him.
Yes, he's here.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Good
So
evening.
what do you guys want to do?
A couple of items are, the plans called for a 3-foot wide stone trench along the right side of the driveway as you go in. So we're asking for that. And on the left side of the driveway towards the street, there's a trench that was excavated for the electric line. It wasn't finished at the time because National Grid hadn't finished their portion, but it was left open. And so I thought, after looking at it, that being this time of year, getting that stone trench in now, I think is actually a good idea, because if we wait until the April 1st deadline, we'll be into the spring in trying to install something that's designed to handle the runoff we typically get in the spring, the snow melts and spring rains. So I think it would actually be a good idea, now that the ground's frozen, to be minimum disturbance, and to have that drainage structure in place before the spring starts, I think would be a benefit that would be worth doing the work now. And since, if that were amenable, then I'd like to have them finish and fill in that open trench on the other side. It's relatively small, about maybe 20 feet. So while they're there, I thought that would be a good idea before the spring as well.
Comments, Matt? You looked at this?
I have actually observed the open trench. That's been my marker of if they've been doing work since December 1st. So I noticed it before, and it's still been open. So I'm comfortable with the request, and it's fairly limited. I think it'll also be a benefit come springtime, as when Jeff noted, the melt and any spring rains will occur.
Comments from the commission?
I have no trouble with this.
Okay, can I have a motion then to approve this?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Eric,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Margaret, and Ann.
Marilyn, hello.
Marilyn, I'm sorry, Marilyn.
How soon you forget? Yes.
Yes, okay. Peter, yes. Okay, Jeff, you're all set.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Okay, we're gonna move on. Well, let's talk about the meeting start time change. A lot of the boards have gone from 7:30 to 7. Does anybody on the commission have a problem with doing that?
No, we raised that at our last meeting, that we thought
Yeah.
it might be a
Good
switch to
idea.
7.
Especially
Yeah.
if you had a lot of things, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Planning board's already done it. The select.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I
Um,
pre-
So
I
we'll just
prefer
change it.
7:30, but I can manage 7.
You manage 7? Okay, good. All right, so
so
Matt, you can take charge of that.
so I plan to implement that for the February
Ninth meeting,
9th. No,
Yeah.
the following one.
the following one?
So February 23rd, 2022.
Okay,
We'll start that. I already have agenda items starting at 7:35 for the next meeting, but we can
Okay.
work with that for the February 23rd.
okay, great. That'll be awesome. Okay, we'll move on to our 7:50 agenda item, which is issue an enforcement order for Hinkle at 24 Buckwood Drive. Matt, you want to take this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this was brought to my attention by the building commissioner when the as-built for the pool that was constructed at 25 Buckboard, when the as-built was submitted. Originally, it was the shed. I'm just hold on. I'll find the actual plan. The shed was located over the rear property line onto land of the Buckboard Trust, which the commission holds a conservation restriction. And in doing some more research into that, also found that the rear of the property is within the buffer to a wetland resource area, kind of up to the plan top left. So in reviewing the what was completed was I determined to be a significant deviation from what was approved, what was submitted in the building permit and approved by the conservation resource planner at the time. And as upon going out to the property with one of the contractors, the rear of the property from the pool and pool deck, significant grading had occurred. Fill was brought in, and there was a retaining wall, or maybe a boulder slope, not so much a retaining wall, was armoring the slope off the rear of the property. Also, what appeared to be onto the conservation restricted area. As such, I've prepared this enforcement order. I know the property owner is in attendance if you would like to speak. And I appreciate the commission's feedback on the draft enforcement order and any revisions to be made, and look to get this out as well.
Okay, Mr. Hinkle, are you there? Have you looked at this order?
I don't have the order, so I'm not sure
Oh.
what, I know that we've talked about, so we didn't do anything inappropriate on purpose.
No, we understand that.
Okay,
That's the-
and the contractors had told us they were following the permits, and
Yeah.
I guess, we're willing to make this right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things. They told us that they had to move the shed because of the water problems that we were having in the basement. The neighbor, the water from the neighbor was running into our basement. Then we had radon abatement, and then it blocked the drains, which was causing flooding and molding in our basement. So the contractor at the time said they had to put a swale in to guide the water away from the house, which is where the old shed was. And that's why they had to put the wall that near the pool. So we're willing to move the shed. We just don't know how to move it and where to move it. And hopefully we can not bring the water problems back when we move it, but and do whatever we need to do. Yeah.
So Matt, he needs to get a copy of this.
Yep, I thought I had sent it. Maybe I just sent it to Land Tech, but I can certainly send this to you. You can take a look at it. And
Matt, can he also meet with you after he's got it so he can be clear?
yeah, I can certainly, set up a time for a call, and so we can have this as an item on the next meeting to move forward with.
Okay.
It's my
Yeah,
fault.
he
Sorry.
should be able to go through this and discuss this with you before we approve it. So,
Yep, I will certainly send that out tomorrow morning, and
Okay.
Mr. Hinkle have more availability on Friday and all next week. We can certainly discuss it. I know you have
Okay.
been working with the building commissioner with,
Mhm.
trying to find, and that was my intent, was to find a solution that not only worked for building, but also worked for conservation. Again, I didn't see the need to have you move the shed once only to have to remove it. It's the ultimate goal is to, find the solution and then go forward. And, if an after the fact notice of intent is the appropriate, I do think a notice of intent for the, for the remediation work is appropriate, but I can certainly speak with you about that, and we can have a discussion at the next meeting.
yeah. Just so
I
you know,
appreciate
Mr.
that.
Hinkle, this isn't the first time a contractor's gone in and doesn't follow the plan, so we
Yeah.
understand, but we do need to correct it. Okay.
Yep.
Great. So you and Matt will get together. We'll put this on for further discussion at our next meeting. Everybody in agreement?
It's fine.
I have a comment, Peter.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
If there's going to be an NOI on the plan, I'd like to see the location of the wetlands. I did look on the GIS system, and it looks like they're off on the northeast of the property. But we need to see where the buffer zone is. And Matt had indicated that there was some grading and a boulder slope or something like that. I'd like to have those indicated on the plan too.
I thought I had if I haven't included that in the enforcement order for what is to be included, I think I can add that to the order one on the draft enforcement order to make sure that, we are getting all the information.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Engel, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, our next discussion item is a request for a certificate of compliance for 71 Powers Road, Hard Rock Builders LLC, 3341709. Matt, I assume this is the old application?
Yes, and this was just a placeholder until the new notice of intent or the new order of conditions is issued. And as discussed at the last meeting, I'll have a draft of that ready for the continuance. There were DEP comments, but looks to be the applicant looks to have resolved them. So I will have the plan updates, draft special conditions for the commission to review, and the certificate of compliance for the previous order.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
Okay, minutes from December 8th.
No problem.
No
Look good to
problem.
me.
Anybody else? Good?
I
Margaret?
noticed that one small thing, because the minutes referred to the 100-foot riparian zone. And I think it should be clear that it's the inner riparian rather than the outer riparian.
Are you saying page 3, second paragraph of the 124 main discussion? And you said inner riparian?
Yeah, because it just talks about the 100-foot riparian, and in fact, the riparian's got two sections, the inner and the outer, both 100 feet.
Okay, thank you.
So just to be clear that we're referring to the inner as opposed to the outer.
Is that it? Any other changes?
I move we
Seeing none.
approve the amended minutes.
Oh, second.
All in favor? Eric,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes,
Noel,
Yes.
and Ann,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Minutes from the December 22nd meeting, 2001.
I find no problems.
Look good.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
second,
Second.
All in favor? Eric,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jim,
yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, I think that covers everything. You have anything else, Matt?
Nope. Just don't want to steal your thunder, but the Conservation Trust Fund allotment was approved by the CPC to go to town meeting at last night's meeting. I know Peter briefly discussed it, when we were chatting, but wanted to share that with the commission. And
And the Healthy Lakes. the first one.
yes, the Healthy Lakes,
Healthy Lakes, yeah.
that was also
Yeah. So
approved.
that will bring our trust fund up to almost 700,000. But we still haven't gotten the appraisal back on the Hildreth Street 10-acre parcel that we want to purchase a CR on.
Yeah, that should be coming in probably in the next 3 weeks. I'll reach out to the company to see if we've gotten on their schedule. But yeah, I can certainly find ways to find properties to purchase if the commission is so willing.
Good.
Great. And did everybody get the conflict of interest notice about having to do it every 2 years? I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Okay, great.
anybody can email me if you want me to check the last time you did it. Because I keep
Okay.
it on file. I'm the one who's the sheriff. So if you
You're
just
the
ask
sheriff.
me, I'll tell you, if you do or not.
Okay. Thank you, Marilyn.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, you guys, great. Thank
Thank-
you.
Have a
We'll
good
see
week.
you
Night,
on
everyone.
February
Good
9th.
night, everybody.
See you
Marilyn,
tomorrow,
happy
Matt.
birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday,
you.
everybody.
Yeah.